My name is Tucker Rovig, and I'm going to tell you a little background about my story before I met God into my life. I was raised in a really good family. My parents raised me with really good moral values. Uh, they believed in God. I mean, our whole family did. We went to church, probably the occasional Easter and maybe Christmas. We all believed in God, but we did not live our lives through Him. My little brother went to a preschool that was the church that Pastor Brian was at one point, and my mom was picking him up, and she saw a flyer on the thing, and it was a flyer for Camp Sawtooth, the church camp that my mom went to when she was little. She brought it home and signed me up without even telling me, and I did not want to go. The only way I would go to this camp was if she would go with me, and luckily my mom was the camp nurse, so my mom got to go to the camp with me. When we first got to Camp Sawtooth, I believed in God, but I did not have a really good relationship with Him. I was there at camp to talk to meet new people and maybe talk to a few new girls. As the week grew on, I really experienced God in my life, but I also experienced an evil presence around the camp. At one point, we were talking about our previous message, and one of our camp leaders got spiritually attacked, and that was one of the scariest things I've ever had to go through in my entire life, because the room just got cold and you felt lonely. Later that night, Pastor Brian came in and prayed for us, and we finished that message. Another evil presence I felt at that camp is when we always went on a hike to the top of the cross, and there was a student that was in the way back with my mom, and I was in the way front, but I always routinely checked on my mom, and I would always see her with this student, and this student, my mom thought was afraid of heights, but that was not the case. When we got to the top of the cross, he was farthest away from the cross possible. His back was turned to it, and then when we all decided to walk down the hill, he was the first one at the bottom. He sprinted down the whole mountain, and when we got to the bottom, my mom tells me the story to this day, he grabbed a piece of dirt from the bottom, put it in his mouth, and spit it out. It was animal-like. And then that following night, we were playing our recreational game, and the same student had bug spray, and he sprayed his whole entire body and wouldn't stop. He wasted like 2 cans, and it was just really weird, and I did not know, or nobody knew what was going on with him. That next evening, so that following night, we were walking back to my cabin after we were done getting showered up and everything, getting ready for bed, and I heard throwing up. And so my best friend and I, we walked around the cabin, and we saw him throwing up and coughing. I ran to go get my mom, and then after that, I only know by story, but believe it all, that the student said he saw Satan, and the room went cold, and he was saying Satan owns this land. And one of my really good friends now, he was a camp leader down there, he said that who is the son, and he said Jesus Christ. When I heard that God just totally replaced Satan and the evil presence in that room with His presence, I was amazed, and I felt like everything was going to be okay, because that whole camp experience I was pretty scared, because I did not know anything that was happening. But when I heard that, I just felt a huge sign of comfort. I remember when my mom was telling me the story, the rain stopped. It was downpouring at the time, and the rain completely stopped. He came to me, and one of the camp leaders came up to me into my cabin and asked for me to go to my nurse's cabin. I remember when I first walked into the cabin, I saw the student, and I looked to my right, and I honestly thought he was dead, but I learned a few seconds later that was not the case. They took me to the second room to the left, and my mom told me about the whole experience that was going on at in this cabin, and I was amazed and bawling my eyes out. I accepted Christ as my personal Savior, and I felt amazed because I felt the evil presence throughout camp the whole week, and I knew there was a godly presence there too, but that evil presence was almost overpowering that godly presence. As I was hugging Pastor Brian and my mom getting up from the bed, the student walks in to me that was prophesizing through him, and he said, "You're a good athlete, but you will be an amazing athlete if you stay on the path." I really took that deeply because sports are a huge part of my life besides God, family, and friends. I've always had a passion to play college football and/or college track. I think a big thing for me is when I'm talking to people that say they love God and they follow Jesus, I really look into them and see how they live their life. With me, I am trying to be the person that says, I love God and I love Jesus, and I'm trying to show that He is working through me and not doing stupid mistakes or making stupid decisions that other people would doubt. Does this guy really love God? After that, my parents really helped me in my growth with Christ. Now, after that whole church camp experience and experiencing the miracle that happened at that church camp, I really devoted myself to have a Savior's heart. Just really serve the people around the community as best as I can. Try and get as many people to church as possible because I'm known as a leader on my football team, but I'm not a vocal leader. I'm more lead by example. But in a church-based area, I'm more that vocal leader, how I'm trying to get everyone to church to see the true power of God and what He can do in your life. I'm following that path to this day, and I could not be happier with where I'm at in life with Christ. And my name is Tucker Rovig, and welcome to my journey.